We made it. My niggas can never be faded. Hey, Nay, you know you got the vocals on this motherfucker. We finna talk about these scandalous hoes.
I can talk about scandalous bitches.
Oh, I know you can. I know you. That's what we finna do. Dad's on the beat. Hey, Dad, nigga, stop fucking around with the piano. Nigga, just drop that shit like, this here. I met you through my homie, now you act like you don't know me. So disappointed, cause baby, that shit was so phony. It's not phony, you see no love for my closest homies. Would've paid you no mind, but baby, you was all up on me. Watch you proceed with precision, you had to save a hoes. No, I ain't mad at you, baby, go ahead and play them fools. They chose not to listen, so now we stuck inside his house. And can't leave without his bitch permission. Permissions to be a player, my alias is balls. Drop the top on these jealous niggas. Player, let me floss. Y'all don't wanna see me in pain. I leave that ass like Tony Braxton, never breathing again. It's scandal. I never liked your backstabbing ass trick. Used to watch your money grabbing who you back and bitch. Ready to bust. In the city, you don't know who to trust. The bitch slipped scandalous.
She's so scandalous. She's so scandalous. She's so scandalous. She's so scandalous. She's so scandalous. She's so scandalous.
How's it hanging? Cause baby from the back the shit is banging. I've been stressing in this ghetto game.
Yeah, unfortunately not going to happen, Alexander, but hey, call in and tell me about it. Love to hear from you.
You're looking at a bitch that specializes in telling lies. She got a body, make a motherfucker fantasize. Her face ain't never shed a tear through them scandalous eyes. My sister precious and poverty. Plus I knew she was a freak bitch, so why should it bother me? I'll probably be sprung, addicted to the heat of her tongue. Although I don't know where it's going, she's making me come. I've been trained as a boss player, so what you saying? Let me show you got some hookers we can toss later. Before I let her get me, I got her. Went in the purse, took $100.
Nate, that is amazing and fantastic. Thank you for the support, buddy. All the people that support this show year round. You guys are the real MVPs. Jeremy, no. I don't think so.
Scheming on getting riches, I'm spitting at tricks, cause I'm addicted to pretty bitches. Currency motivated, not easily terminated. Now that we made it, my niggas can never be faded. This is my prophecy, I gotta be paid. All you cowards that try to stop me is begging for earth grades. I thought we was cool, I was a fool thinking you could be true when I don't fuck with your punk proof. These are the tales for my niggas doing time in the cell. I went from hell to living well. Busting in niggas who said my name in vain. I got no time for the tricks, I'm heavy in the game. I wanna be a baller, please, but the bitches in the liquor keep on calling me. I'm floating free on the highway, formulating plans. Can't wait till I see LA. Cause it's so scandalous.
Scandalous. She's so scandalous. She's so scandalous.
I'm not picking the Indiana-Ohio State game until the week they play. I got to see both them play again this week before I can make that determination. Right now, I pick Ohio State, though. I think Ohio State's a better team than Indiana. Shout out to Indiana, though.
These days is way too motherfucking intelligent. Niggas get the triggers. It's over there.
Welcome, everybody, to the College Football Call-In Show, Week 11 edition with your boy, Pigskin Pete. Thank you all for being here. Of course, I'll be with you in just a few minutes. Wait for people to trickle in here. If you want to be a part of the show, it's very easy to do so. Click that StreamYard link. Yes, click it. It's almost as easy as using a phone. Maybe even easier. I don't know.
This for my nigga, look at the grill. This for me, 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 look at the grill. This for
Who won the election? Kamala got blowed out worse than Clemson did by Louisville last week.
Ain't shit sweet cause you see you with pepper. I still will spray all day, ain't nothing. They let like one AK do a femme. I'm new to the drum like a fool if you wanna. Lean in my pocket for the cab on the stone. He acting like a one, I'ma show the nigga song. Somebody finna have to bring me to your mama. I don't tolerate sucker niggas trying me. Take a special kind of nigga to flies me. Similar to 8 ball like MJG, been coming out hard since 93. Niggas know ain't no I shine.
Hey, don't worry, I'll hurt some of y'all's feelings here in a minute. Don't worry. Just hang around for about 3 more minutes. I'll hurt some of your feelings, which is easy to do, by the way.
Still spinning and I'm still smoking heavy. Look at both of my grills, my motherfucking mouth, look at just like a grill on a Chevy. Pimp twist, I'm a player still. Ballin' in the game, count major bills. Come and take a trip with me through Haterville. Also 24 Omegas in the Gator grill. Fuck the twist, fuck you, bitch. I don't really wanna have to bust you, bitch.
I would have to agree with Uncle Lou there. Georgia's not losing, despite the fact that Carson Beck is probably going to throw at least 2 interceptions. Boy, imagine how good Georgia would be if they had a quarterback. Hey, imagine how good Georgia would be if they had Cade Klubnik. Hey.
The club closed at 5 o'clock. We pulling up around 3. Wood grain wheel gripping, Cinderella sipping. I like my jewelry golden like a piece of fried chicken. Money players be redeeming like I'm really beaming. Like a bitch that practice sucking dick and drinking semen. She scheming, dreaming, wishing she could be my number 1. Forever young, mama, I just wanna have some fun. Don't try to ever take my cash from it. You might as well jump off a cliff, you fucking crash dummy. Like that's my last money. This for my niggas who be busting back at perpetrators. We don't discriminate, we'll hurt you now and hurt you later. But I ain't worried, I'll smoke one on you fucking haters. And now I'm high.
Mad T-Sipper wants to know how I'm feeling today. I'm amazing and fantastic. How are you doing, Mo? You doing good? Everything good? You feeling good? How's the family? They good? That's good. No, I think Paul woke up from his nap. I'm not, hell, I don't know. Somebody, where's Jay at? Jay, can you check on Hoverbelly Paul and make sure he's okay? I think he's good. I think he's all right. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the College Football Call-In Show with your boy, Pigskin Pete. Of course, if you want to be a part of the show, it's very easy to do so. Click that StreamYard link and come and talk some college football. In the meantime, enjoy the next 5 minutes or so of your feelings getting hurt, if they weren't hurt bad enough last night. Thank you.
voting for that thought. She be playing on my peoples, they be sleeping on the plot. Whoever voting for that hoe, you a op. Trump 2024, we finna pop. We ain't voting for that hoe. We ain't voting for that hoe. Yep, lying Kamala. Don't ever tell the truth like lying Obama. We going through the roof in this election with the truth. People still sleeping on it after what we've been through. It's like, damn, Kamala already showing her colors. You dummies are voting for her. It's all because of her color. She not even black. And I put that on God. Indian descent, but everybody's still lost. Border wide open, letting killers in the states. Better keep your eyes focused on Camilla, cause she crave crime bill in 94 ain't got nothing on today. She be legalizing crime and taught Biden how to play it. Y'all voting Democrat, ain't y'all tired? Hating Donald Trump, but Kamala is a liar. We ain't voting for that hoe. We ain't voting for that hoe. We ain't voting for that hoe. We ain't voting for that hoe.
One down. How many more we got to go?
We ain't voting for that hoe. Lying Kamala never been to the border. Human trafficking, she wanna take all the men from their daughters. The sound of freedom is getting dim, leading the polls. Rappers like Quavo, celebrities believe in this hoe. And I say it in my captions, and I say it as a black man. And we don't care about them poll numbers. They ain't cheating again, we taking action. Democrats always trying to stick with that race card narrative. Panhandle.
Two down. How many more we got going here?
Playing with the Democrats, we interfering with God's plan to handle that. And I say it with my chest out. Loads of train, we the best out. It took Kamala to go back to stripping. Cause on God, your image don't match a politician. Cam, I told Harris you're fired. Don't nobody really wanna deal with a liar. We ain't voting for that hoe. 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 Now everybody say Camel Harris. Camel Harris. Camel Harris. Camel Harris. Camel Harris. Camel Harris. Camel Harris.
What's your favorite curse word?
I can't say it. It starts with an M and it ends with
Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Flow, deadly like an overweight fat Joe. Maca flow, got these lips tripping in the back, bro. This is for my people that you locked up in 94. They gon' cheat, we already know the game plan. Dang, man, it's obvious she's communist, just wait, fam. Y'all gon' find out she about to make it rain, man. Dollar bills falling out for real with inflation. Face it, y'all just love Kamala cause y'all hate Trump. Y'all don't even make no sense, need to wake up. This election is a dogfight, can't break it up. Tell Jesus, give me healing, if I can shake it up. Don't nobody wanna this Kamala, they ain't brave enough. I've been tripping like a blunt when you lace it up. MAGA gang stay hot like you making love. Tell Kamala we will never let her take us up. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Everybody know you coming last, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Everybody know you coming last, ho. I ain't finna vote for this hoe, that's a no-go. Social security, she cutting it for show, bro. She gon' leave the borders wide open like a throat, bro. Time rate finna go crazy, but they don't know. Oh, no, immigrants coming by the boatload. It's gon' hit your bank and you gon' feel it like a stomp toe. Y'all gon' still vote for her cause her skin is cocoa. Even though the proof is in the pudding, people don't know. I can't hear this riddle laugh for another year, bro. Watch Kamala sit and do nothing just like a scarecrow. Watch Kamala kill all her babies and make them fear, bro. I ain't finna vote for this wannabe black weirdo. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Everybody know you coming last, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Everybody know you coming last, ho. But Joe Biden said blacks are a problem. She ain't said nothing, she agreed and it cost us. 4 years put the country down like a sick dog. But y'all gon' still vote for her, I don't get y'all. Problem is, people still delusional without God. Sleeping on the most high is dangerous like code 9. I would never argue with a lib, I got no time. I'm too busy getting right cause it's showtime. Kamala, you ain't did nothing but run your mouth and treat us worse than the immigrants, kicking your people out. You love killing our babies and making us pay for aliens, raising up crazy taxes and blame us for going crazy, huh? She gon' bring back mandates and full control. I can't believe that she doing this, don't nobody know. Cause they always use division a way to control. What you expect from a fake black Indian hoe? Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Everybody know you coming last, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Don't nobody wanna hear your laugh, ho. Everybody know you coming last, ho. Kamala, you a liar, you be lying. Kamala, you a liar, you be lying. Kamala, you a liar, you be lying. Kamala always lying, she be lying. Kamala, you a liar, you be lying. Kamala, you a liar, why you lying? Kamala, you a liar, you be lying. Kamala, you a liar, you be lying.
Hey, that's great news, Matt. I get to go to bed early tonight. I need some sleep. I wasn't up till 4 o'clock in the morning like Slaw was. I was up late, though. Up early. Power went out. Handy Manny Pete had to handle some business this morning. Handy Manny Pete had to handle some business this morning. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Pigskin Pete. How you guys doing, though? For real. Welcome to the College Football Call-In Show. If you want to be a part of the show, click that link, that StreamYard link. It's very easy to do. Well, it seems easy to do. It does seem pretty difficult for some people. Let me run through the chat here real quick, then we'll get right to the phone calls. Matt Dummett's here. Jeremy Garland. Alexander says, let's go. Time to bring Venables back. The D is shit without him. Well, I don't know if shit's the right word, but it's not great. Unfortunately, he's not coming back because Oklahoma can't afford to fire him. And I don't even know if he'd want to come back, honestly. So I'm not holding my breath on that. But there is a lot of other defensive coordinators out there that Clemson could go get if they wanted to. We'll see if Dabo Swinney has the stones to do so. Tomorrow is a new day. No, hold on. I projected there. Tomorrow, new day. SMU versus Miami is probably going to be the ACC championship. Yes, I agree. Lisa is here. Who you got? Indiana, Ohio State. You already answered that. I have to see the way that Indiana plays this week in Ohio State. I'm not making a prediction on that until the actual week of the game. Right now, I'd take Ohio State. Ohio State's still one of the best teams in the country, despite some of their deficiencies. Jeremy Garrettson, B-Bean. B-Bean is only offended by that last song, but not the first two songs I played where they talked about everything deplorable about society, which says a lot and is also weird. Ballard is here, the mad tea sipper. How am I feeling today? Look at me. I'm like a spring chicken. What do you mean, how am I feeling today? Look at me. The Uncle Lou. Oobdoo was root. Oobdoo was root about a lot of things. And still is. Slim Shady Canes is in the house. Dylan Mullins. Drunker Silly Slaw.
I still love you, but I don't like you, bro.
Drunker Silly Slaw. Pete, Peete, do you think closing W is Bay Vavaribia Toch? Pete. You know what? I can't. It's too late for this. Shane Bentley. What's up, Shane? Ultra MAGA Dog. I think we all know how he's feeling today. What's up, Hoghead? Squad Man. Hi, Pete. Clemson got me bummed. Yeah. Well, welcome to the club, buddy. The ghost of Melissa May is here. Says, roll Tide, roll. Hey, roll Tide. I can't wait to see you in the Pop-Tart Bowl after you lose to LSU this week. A 10-2 Clemson against a 9-3 Alabama. Can't wait to see it. It's going to be like old times, except not in the playoffs. It's going to be great. I can't wait. All right, let's get to the phone calls here. Of course, I'll take these calls in the order they came in. So if you're on hold, just be patient. Most of these calls don't last long anyway because nobody can stand to talk to me for more than about 2 minutes anyway. What's up? You're on with Pete.
What's up, Pete?
What's up, Nate?
How you doing?
I think I've already said about 10 times I'm amazing and fantastic. Yeah, I'm spring chicken. What do you want from me? Look at me.
I like you.
All right, good.
But anyways, yeah, my dad said that Michigan is going to upset Indiana, which I don't really believe in. So
Your dad said Michigan was going to upset Indiana.
he thinks, but I mean that's what he said. Yes. But I didn't. I said no. I don't think that's going to happen. But
Yeah.
who knows? I mean, crazy stuff happens this year. So.
All right.
But yeah. Anyways, and plus Nebraska can't even make a bowl game. I think my teams won't even make a bowl game, sadly. So,
Well, Nebraska's got what are they, 5 and they got 5 wins, I think.
yeah, 5 and 4.
So they got 4 games left. They need to win one more game. Can they win one more game, Nate?
I hope so.
I think they can. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. I don't know what the Vegas odds are. Nebraska making a bowl game.
Since 2016.
Nebraska versus South Carolina and the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Now that'd be a good game.
Yeah, of course it would be. Yeah,
Well,
Nebraska would get destroyed by South Carolina.
Well, maybe, but I think Nebraska has a really good record against the SEC. I'm not saying to brag, I'm saying facts, but as a whole. But Nebraska ain't had the talent with against SEC right now, but if they play, so
nope.
I'm not saying they will win. I'm just saying overall
They don't have the talent. Nate, listen to me very closely.
I'm listening.
The reason that Nebraska is so bad is because they don't have the talent. You understand?
You
know that, right?
Actually, I know that.
But you said otherwise just a minute ago. So I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure we're on the same page here.
I am. Yeah.
All right. Good.
But yes, that'll be hilarious if Nebraska beats South Carolina too. But yes,
Clemson fans piss me off.
Shut up. I'm just kidding.
They piss me off too, ironically enough. They do.
But anyways, I'll let you go.
Yes, thank you.
By the way, you'll love the gifts when it comes in between.
Nate, I told you on the midday show today, you better not send me some kind of MAGA shirt. He asked me what size shirt I wore. I'm not wearing a MAGA shirt or a MAGA hat or anything along those lines. So don't send me that.
It's some type of jersey.
A jersey. All right. Thank you. What's up, your own Pete?
What's up, PigskinPeete? How you doing tonight?
I'm amazing and fantastic. How you doing?
Doing great. So you're talking to a U of L fan right now, and I saw your live stream while I was watching the game on my TV, and I just couldn't believe we got that win on the road, and for U of L to be like on a 3-game road. Yeah, because we played Boston College that Friday night. We came back to beat them, and then we played Clemson in Death Valley on a 5:30 p.m. And then next week we go to Palo Alto to play the Stanford Cardinal. And things are looking pretty good for U of L. But how did you feel about U of L just kind of controlling the line of scrimmage in that game?
That was a shock to me. And I think it was probably a shock to you too. First of all, congratulations on the big win against Clemson at home. I think that's the first time Louisville's beat Clemson ever, isn't it?
Yeah, they were 0-8 all time since joining the ACC since 2014.
Now there's been the thing is, and I know you know this, they've lost every game until this past week, but there have been some knockdown, drag out fights. Matter of fact, one of the best games of the year. What was that? 2016. Deshaun Watson against Lamar Jackson.
Yes, that was in Death Valley on a prime time as well.
That was a fantastic
UL was
game.
number 5 in the country at the time that night.
Yeah, that was a fantastic game. And but I mean, Louisville's come up short. I mean, they've lost by 1 score or less like 5 times or something to Clemson.
And yes,
But look, you got to give it to Brom. You got to give it to the Louisville Cardinals, and they just they were the better team. There's no, I mean, I'm not making excuses at all. They were a better team.
I do believe Brom is he's really like people think he's like a defensive coach, but I think he's just a good coach like all around and has his team prepared to go into a situation like that. And with the remaining schedule, they could go 9-3, probably not make the ACC playoff, but we could have another 10-win season under Brom, like under his second year. And also my cousin lives in South Carolina. A lot of my family lives. They grew up in Charleston, and my cousin is a Gamecock fan, and he was stoked that I was stoked, and I was stoked that he was stoked on South Carolina got the win over Texas A&M, and my cousin's wife, their family are Clemson alumni. So it's a really like house divided. And we were texting like on and off like the night, and we were all just kind of cheering, and we were just like, man, this was a good Saturday night for me and my cousin.
Yeah, well, like I said, congratulations. I'm not about to congratulate South Carolina on anything. You understand, right?
Yes, but I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact, for sure. But no, I've been watching your channel for a while now. I can't remember how I got into you. Either it was like Uncle Lou, or I think Carolina Jackpot. So you have a fan here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, that tunes into your shows a lot. Right. So just FYI. All right.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the call. And I think Jeff Brom's a really good coach, and you guys are lucky to have him. And I think you're right. I think he can win 9 games this year for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, you have a good night, my friend.
You too.
And yeah, go U of L. L's up.
All right, man. That's a first. I don't think I've ever had a Louisville fan call in here before. Yeah, it's a good thing that you did retract that comment, Jarrett, because it sounded retarded when you said it. And it's even more retarded now that after I read it, even though you deleted it. So, what's up? You're on with Pete.
Glad to see you're okay after fixing the electricity in your house. Good to know you didn't shock yourself to death.
I'm still alive, barely.
Yeah, man. Hey, at least we know you're alive. We still don't have confirmation on Slaw, and I've tried to call him a couple of times today.
Look, the guy was up till 4 o'clock in the morning celebrating. He called into the midday show today, said I was up till 4. I call bullshit on that. As a matter of fact, where's my? I call bullshit on that.
That is bullshit. That is bullshit.
He was not up till 4 a.m. He never went to sleep. Well, until about an hour and 45 minutes into the midday show. That's when he decided to go to sleep and let us all hear it too.
Yeah, he did. That was epic. And it's good to know all these Louisville fans are stoked, and their families are stoked, apparently. So everybody's stoked.
Well, like I said, I've never talked to a Louisville fan on here. I've been doing this for 7 years.
I haven't either.
Not one single Louisville fan have I ever talked to on YouTube. And I mean, I've talked to Indiana Hoosier fan. I mean, you name it. But look, I get it. They're excited. They beat Clemson for the first time ever. Not only did they beat them, they controlled the entire game from start to finish in Clemson in prime time. A Clemson team that was having delusions of grandeur of winning the ACC and making the playoffs, which isn't going to happen anymore. That's a huge win for that program and Jeff Brom. Huge.
I agree with huge win. I don't think that Clemson is necessarily out of the playoff race yet. Now, granted, a lot of us don't know what the committee's going to do, but I mean, the general consensus going into this 12-team playoff is, 10-plus win teams have at least got a puncher's chance.
Yeah,
but I think the Clemson name still carries weight.
You have to, in order to go down that road, you have to believe that Clemson's going to win out, because a loss to South Carolina would be 3 losses against the only 3 good teams are going to play this year. And so, no, they're not getting in that scenario. So you'd have to believe they're going to win out. And I don't even believe that. So, and the SMU would have to lose a game too, as far as the ACC championship is concerned. And I don't think either one of those things are
ACC championship's concerned, but I'm like, if I were to pick it today, I wouldn't pick South Carolina to beat Clemson because
I would.
Yes, you're also fresh off of a loss that you really didn't see coming. But I mean, let's be honest about it here. South Carolina's defense is not wowing anybody.
What? Their defense isn't wowing?
Excuse me.
All
their
right.
offense.
I thought, okay.
I misspoke.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, their offense isn't wowing anybody, but their defense is. And if they go into that game, and we've seen it this year with South Carolina, they go into that game and their offense is struggling to move the ball, their defense is going to give eventually.
Yeah, I don't know. Their defense has been, outside of who they play week 1, James Madison or some shit like that, and that was a close game. Outside of that, their defense has been pretty much lights out. They're getting better as the year goes on. I said from the beginning, well, not from the very beginning, but since about week 3 or 4, that if South Carolina can find some sort of a semblance of an offense, they'll be a dangerous team and can beat anybody. And to their credit, they did that the last week against A&M. Now, the question is, and I'd like to know your opinion on this, was that an aberration? Was A&M coming off of some sort of high against the game against LSU, and they traveled out to South Carolina, beat up and whatnot, and underestimated the Gamecocks, and the Gamecocks took them to town? Or is South Carolina's offense also getting better along with the defense?
I think it can be a bit of both. Now, let's not forget that A&M put in they had to play that backup quarterback that got put in the LSU game. And, I mean, they won that LSU game with what? I think he had 3 completed passes.
Is that all it was?
Yeah, like they're very both of them are very one-dimensional on offense.
Well, South Carolina can't pass. I don't care who they put at quarterback, whether it's Sellers or anybody else. They can't pass the ball. I think we all know that. But they do have a running game that seems to be gradually getting better throughout the year. I guess for me, going into the Clemson game, but there's another 4 weeks away. But going into the Clemson game, I need to see, is South Carolina healthy at running back? If they're healthy at running back and they're starting all their starters on offense, I'm picking South Carolina to beat Clemson. I don't care what happens against Virginia Tech. I don't care what happens against Pittsburgh. And well, certainly I don't care about what happens against the Citadel. But if that's the case, I'm picking South Carolina to win that game. If for some reason they have some injuries on offense, then I'll give Clemson a better chance to win that game. But I think South Carolina is a better team this year than Clemson is.
Well, I'm not. They're a better team by South Carolina standards. I don't think they're a better team overall than Clemson.
I mean, I've watched every South Carolina game. I've watched every Clemson game. I would have to disagree. They should have beat LSU. They could have beat Alabama. They did beat A&M. Those are 3 ranked teams. Clemson played 2 teams with winning records and got blown out by both of them. So.
Well, and I, you know me, I'm not a fan of the ranked team argument because, especially when it comes to the AP poll, and I don't understand why more people don't share this opinion, because the same people that we complain about that don't even watch college football, that vote for the Heisman, those are AP voters.
I know.
So why would you take the AP poll seriously?
I don't take the AP poll seriously, but I do take the records seriously. And like I said, the 2 teams that currently have winning records that Clemson has played, they lost to both of them, and lost to both of them badly too. It wasn't like it was even neither one of those games were competitive. So that's where I'm coming from.
I agree with your point, but at the same time, Cade Klubnik looked bad against bad teams last year, and he looks.
Listen to me. First of all, if we're comparing this year's Clemson team to last year's, they're way better.
Yes,
they're way. Yeah, I agree with you there. But what we're doing here, I think it's comparing Clemson to South Carolina, and South Carolina's team compared to last year is 10 miles better than what Clemson is better than they were last year. Maybe I understand. I don't like to overreact to wins or losses. I didn't overreact. I overreact to everything. But I didn't overreact that much to the Georgia loss because it was week 1. And what I was really looking for in that game against Georgia was how Cade Klubnik was going to progress from the previous year. And again, he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't play great, but he wasn't the reason they lost that game. So I still had some optimism after that game. And then we saw what they did against all the teams after that until last week. And it was impressive. And Cade Klubnik continues to impress me in his growth from year 1 to year 2 as a starter. But again, once you face a good team, you fold like a lawn chair. And it's not the fact that they lost to Louisville. It's how they lost and where they lost and when they lost. With everything on the line, now you got to remember, going into last week, it wasn't just the Miami and Clemson show. It was Miami, it was Clemson, it was Pittsburgh who was undefeated, and it was SMU who was undefeated in the ACC. And those two teams had to play each other. So that was a huge, huge moment for the Tigers to make a statement and beat a good Louisville team at home convincingly, which I thought they were going to do. I thought they would have not only beat Louisville, I thought they would have beat them by more than the spread. The spread was 10.5. And instead, it was the complete opposite. So I don't think at this point I am overreacting based on what I've seen this year.
Right.
Out of this team.
I mean, you may be right. But since you bring up the point spread, that brings up the question: Am I crazy for thinking this point spread against Georgia Tech is a little low? Actually, a lot low.
Yeah. Well, here's my picks. I'll go ahead and tell you right now. Notre Dame minus 26, Miami minus 11. That's what you're talking about. BYU minus 4.5. That's my 3 main picks this week. And all of those lines, I can't fathom why they are the way that they are. But then again, I said the same thing about Louisville and Clemson last week. So I'm still trying to figure out, is there somebody on Miami's team that's not playing, that's hurt? What is the reason for Miami only being an 11-point favorite on the road against Georgia Tech, a bad Georgia Tech team? They're not good.
Yeah. I mean, the only injury from last week that I know is going to continue over and he's not playing. And I was looking at it earlier and now his name is, I'm drawing a complete blank on his name. But you said you watched the game. The guy, the corner that caught that last interception in the Duke game and returned it, he ended up breaking his ankle on the tackle. So he's going to be out for that game.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
that's still that's not enough for me to justify that line, just that one player.
They
don't. If you told me that Xavier Restrepo was not playing this week, I might say okay, Georgia Tech might have a chance to cover that 11. But
no, he's good to go.
Yeah.
Moore's good to go. No offensive line injuries, no running back injuries, just that one corner. And I mean, he's a junior and not even a starter. I mean, he's one of the rotational guys.
What do you think about? Do you mind staying on for a couple of calls with me?
Absolutely, buddy.
All right, great. That sounds great to me. What's up? You're on with Pete and Slim Shady Canes.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. I kind of just want to talk about Colorado. I was looking at their schedule. And obviously they play Texas Tech this week, but after that, they don't play a single team that is going to be bowl eligible. They play Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. I mean, looking at this schedule, I think if they can beat Texas Tech, they're going to go 10-2, which is just incredible. I don't know. It's just incredible to me.
Yeah, talk about another crazy line. What can somebody tell me what it was? Let me see if I can find. It was a low line. It's something like 4 points or something. Is that what it is? Somebody in the chat, let me know. What's the line on the Colorado and Texas Tech game? It's very low. Look, I don't see Colorado losing another game in the regular season. So I think they will go 10-2. Huh?
Here's the problem with that, though. They're one or two injuries away from not winning a game for the rest of the season, too.
Oh, that's a good point. I'll give you that. I mean, if you lose Travis Hunter or Horn or obviously Sanders, the quarterback, then they're in serious trouble. But to this point, they've been mostly okay. I think Travis Hunter missed a game or part of a game, and the same with Horn. I think Horn might have missed a game. Shedeur Sanders hasn't missed any games as far as I know. So
and then of course they lost Shiloh for the season, but
he's not any. Shiloh's not any good anyway. I mean,
yeah, I'm about to say no shade at him, but yeah, there's a reason he was riding the bench at South Carolina.
Yeah. So Noah, what is your question? Is do we? I mean, I don't know. What is your question about Colorado?
Well, there's a few things, but I wanted to say, like, if they go 10-2 and they're in the Big 12 title game, Deion, like, look, I don't like the cockiness around that team and the ego and some of the players, but I respect this team and I respect Deion, even though I don't like, obviously, how cocky they are, but he will be coach of the year if they're 10-2 and they make the Big 12 title game, win or lose. I think he deserves it.
I agree with everything you just said. So I also don't like the cockiness. I don't think that most people do. But when you back it up with production, then you've got to tip your cap to it. I mean, it's not the way that I would want my coach to go about doing things. I wouldn't want Deion Sanders at Clemson necessarily. So I understand that. But winning cures all ails. And
and nobody's going to take anything away from wins. And this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but because I'm a Miami fan, I don't mind the cockiness. I don't have a problem with it. But I also don't think, regardless of record, when you're a team that's in a position of 2 injuries away, not being able to win a single game, no, you're not coach of the year. You just got lucky.
Well, hold on now. So to go from a 1-win team to a 4-win team, or whatever they won last year, 3 or 4 games, whatever it was, to a 10-win team in a matter of 2 years, that is significant. I don't care what conference you're playing in.
Well, I'm not saying that it's not significant, but that's also that's you want to talk about a fraudulent team. Say what you want about Miami. That is the most fraudulent team.
Now, look, I don't think Colorado. I'm not predicting Colorado to make a deep run in the playoffs, I'm not even predicting them to win the Big 12. I think, as a matter of fact, if they were to play BYU, BYU would probably be favored, and I think BYU would probably win. But still, 10 wins after 3 wins is a big jump. Now, into the future, when you lose a Horn, a Hunter, and Shedeur Sanders all in 1 year, and you don't recruit,
you're not replacing them, by the way.
Yeah, replacing them. I don't think Colorado, and that's the real key to a successful coach long term is consistency. That's why Dabo Swinney's considered one of the greatest, because he's consistently won at a high level for a very long time. Kirby Smart's doing that now. Even Ryan Day, despite the fact that he never won a national championship, still consistently wins a lot of games in a very good conference every year. Go down the list. But anyway, yeah. But I think that you still would have to consider Deion for Coach of the Year if he were to go 10-2 in the regular season. After what?
Well, I'm not saying you shouldn't consider him for it. I'm just saying I wouldn't vote for him. Which also, by the way, I don't think that they're going to go 10-2. Like,
probably not.
Is it for sure that they could? Like, I don't care about Utah's record. Is it for sure that they can beat Utah? No. This is the same team that 9 weeks ago was riding the struggle bus against North Dakota State.
The only reason I disagree with you is because that was my lock of the week. Colorado minus 3.5 against Utah this week.
Well, and I'm not saying they won't do it.
No, it's in Utah, so, but, I mean.
I mean, because hey,
Utah's
listen,
not very good.
even without Cam Rising,
Not terrible, but
Utah is one of the most disciplined and well coached football teams in all of college football.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw someone in chat talk about Cignetti, and look, he's a great coach and what he did at JMU, and he's replicating that now at Indiana, which, yeah, he's a great coach, but last year, Deion Sanders only won 4 games and was terrible, okay? A 10-win season for him, that is better than an 11-1 Cignetti team out of Indiana, in my opinion.
Okay, can you name me the top 25 team that they would be a 10-point favorite over right now?
Colorado?
No.
Yes.
They wouldn't be a 10-point. They wouldn't be a 10-point favorite over Colorado.
No. What I'm saying is, name any team in the top 25 that would be that Colorado would be a 10-point favorite.
Okay.
over.
I thought you were talking about Indiana. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah. Nobody.
I mean,
and that's kind of my point with Colorado.
I do agree with Tom DeMay, though. He says Colorado and Indiana would be a fun game to watch. I got to be honest with you. All the shade I threw at Deion in the offseason in Colorado, and I'll continue to do it going into next season, too. I don't care what they do this year. Every game that Colorado plays is interesting to me. That's why he's there. Everybody watches. I don't know how old a lot of you are in the comment section. This is the first year of my life that I've ever been excited to watch every Colorado game. Ever. I guess maybe last year too, but they weren't very good last year. At least not as good as they are this year. So everybody's tuning in. I mean,
they are, and that could very well. Listen, we all know that it's hype that ends up winning a lot of these awards. And Deion could very well end up with Coach of the Year just simply off of that.
Yeah, the awards thing is completely useless to me. And as sad as it is to say, even the Heisman at this point is almost useless now because there's and that's not disrespect to anybody who does win the Heisman. It's obviously a great achievement, and if you win the Heisman, that is, I mean, you're obviously a great player, but everybody knows the Heisman doesn't go to the best player every year. I think everybody knows that. And I don't think the Coach of the Year award goes to the best coach every year. So you're right. The hype around Deion, if he were to win Coach of the Year, would probably be most likely because of the hype around Deion and not his actual coaching ability. Because there's more to coaching than just lining the guys up on Saturday and winning games. There's a lot more that goes into it. Recruiting. And I know people don't want to hear this, but it's true. How do you manage your program? How do you manage your coaches? Academics. I think all those things do matter to the program. They might not matter to the average college football viewer, because I know the viewers don't give a shit if somebody got an A in science class or whatever, or A on their term paper. But that does matter in the grand scheme of things. To me, it does.
It does. And I agree with you. And to your point, that awards don't mean a whole lot. Mario's on his second offensive coordinator, and his first one had won the Broyles Award the year before.
Right.
But going back to Colorado, I mean, sure, they could possibly win 10 games. Would I bet the farm on it? Absolutely not. I mean, unfortunately, the way he's built that team, it's a house of cards that could collapse at any moment.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you. I mean, obviously, 2 players do seem to carry the team, but still, like, it is impressive, like I said, looking back at last year. And honestly, like, last year, I did not like Colorado. I honestly despised it. But honestly, looking at this year, you kind of want them to succeed with how they were last year and Deion in his second year. And, like, if Colorado were to make the Big 12 championship game and win, I mean, that alone would just be insane. Like, and super respect. Like, I don't know how anyone can't respect that, although people don't like Deion. You know what I'm saying?
I like Deion. He's probably the greatest corner I've ever seen play the game in my life.
I like Deion too.
Yeah, well, I mean more so online, because I know how people, I mean, especially on Twitter, people don't like Deion, and like I said, all that. I mean, I don't remember, it was Travis Hunter who did that podcast, I don't know, where he said why he deserves the Heisman, and I can see why people dislike him.
I don't dislike him at all, like as a person or even as a coach necessarily. I just don't agree. Again, as much as I like Deion, and I have since I was a kid, I wouldn't want him to be the coach for Clemson. I'm a Clemson fan. I don't think that Slim Shady would want him to be the coach at Miami, and he's a Miami fan. Colorado's a good place for him, I guess, because, I mean, who else could they get that's as popular as him? Nobody.
Or is going to put anywhere near as many eyeballs on the program.
Right. I mean, he's a cash machine.
Like, listen, there is a difference, and I know people conflate this all the time, but there is a difference between saying somebody is not a great football coach and not liking them. Just because I don't think he's a great football coach, that doesn't mean I dislike him.
Yeah. Yeah, look, Tommy Bowden at Clemson. Couldn't stand him as a football coach. Great guy. I mean, Tommy Bowden seemed like a great guy to me. Couldn't stand him. Couldn't stand him as a football coach at Clemson. I mean, his standard was, quite frankly, pitiful.
Peete said it repeatedly. DJ, great guy.
Yeah,
not a
DJ,
great quarterback.
So, but look, I don't know, and you know, there's a lot of talk about, you know, would Deion take a bigger job in Colorado, like somewhere like Florida, and somebody in the chat just said Florida State. That's not happening. Yeah, he hates Florida State. He doesn't even claim them as his alma mater. So no, he's not going to Florida. I mean, they would have to. I mean, I guess money would talk. If they said, "Hey, we'll give you $15 million a year," or some crazy shit like that, he might consider it. But I think he'd be more likely to go to Florida just to stick it to Florida State than he would be to go to Florida State.
And I still don't think Florida State fans are okay with Deion, at least as a whole. I mean, I'm sure you'll find some that are. But I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. I remember when Travis Hunter flipped from Florida State to Jackson State, they were all over the interwebs burning Deion jerseys.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there between Deion and the administration at Florida State, but Deion is not the type of guy who just gets slighted or feels like he got slighted. Again, I don't know what happened there, but he's not the type of guy that's just going to overlook that. He's got an ego.
Yeah, he does. A
big ego. And his big ego was one of the reasons he's one of the greatest players of all time in college and the NFL. So I'm not knocking him for it. Lou said that, what did he say here? Because I do agree with what he said. Clark Lee, Vandy 6-3 is more impressive than Deion at Colorado 6-2. Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, first of all, because the SEC is better than the Big 12, and he's got better wins than anything Colorado's done. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because even in what's, I think this would most definitely be considered a down year for the SEC as a whole, they're still exponentially better than the Big 12, top to bottom.
Hufferbilly says that Dabo has no ego. Of course he has an ego. Look, you don't win at a high level without an ego in college football. But there's levels to this shit.
Or really in any sport.
Yeah, any sport. Or any business, really, if you're a businessman. The President of the United States, shout out to Donald J. Trump. He might have the biggest ego of anybody. This guy's head is not only physically big, but metaphorically big, too. And, yeah, he's the president. He's the leader of the free world.
Them's facts.
And he's got a giant ego. Paul, you have an ego too when you're not sleeping.
I think he has one even when he's sleeping. Dreaming of being a lumberjack.
How you doing, Paul? You doing all right, buddy? I was worried about you earlier.
I tried to call. I called him 2 or 3 times trying to wake him up. I got nothing out of him. Poor fella.
He figured out about 10 minutes after the show ended that he had fell asleep. Yeah.
We got some great stinger material of you snoring. And you answered several questions quite promptly.
Yeah, good.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, the good news is I finally got up after my food coma. I had
food coma. Hold on. Did you just say food coma?
Yeah.
Man, look.
Now, the whole Deion talk. Just get back to the football thing because we can talk about me in a minute. But the whole Deion conversation, seriously, he's taking a what I would consider to be a 0 and trying to get it to 5, okay, out of 10. And he's getting to almost 8 in his second year here. So I know, I mean, we all like to give Deion a hard time because he's an arrogant little son of a bitch. But he's doing something that I don't know how many other people could have done, to be honest with you. I mean, I know he's the big.
Okay. Well, hang on. You say not how many other people would have done. It's almost universally agreed that Ed Orgeron is a terrible head coach, and he's got a national title.
Who do you say? Orgeron?
Yes, Ed O.
Yeah.
Go Tigers in that.
All that. Yeah, but he had good staff. I mean, he didn't know how to hire people. So give him that. And it's LSU. They're going to recruit. You know how that goes. They're in a hotbed. Colorado ain't got shit for recruiting, and Deion didn't even know who to hire probably because
they didn't have shit. They didn't have shit for recruiting last year either. Now I agree that they're not going to be as good next year because they're losing.
Yeah.
Sanders and probably the best player in all of college football, and we can debate that. If not the best, definitely one of the top 3. So you can't just plug and play in that situation. But what was Colorado's recruiting class for this previous year? It was in the 50s, I think.
70s or 80s.
70s? Oh, shit, it's even worse.
Down.
Ah, damn. That's pathetic.
Pathetic! You are pathetic!
But
I mean, he's getting out recruited by Mike Norvell.
Oh.
God help us all.
That should tell you all you need to know.
Boy, that's a low blow, bro. Oh man. Ah, damn.
No, but he's buying more players than Mike Norvell.
Well, he's buying all of his players.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the new. Well, my only point is, you're in Colorado. You're not going to recruit that well anyway. Number one, number two.
Well, you can do better than 70 or whatever it was.
Listen, I don't believe that either. Like, and this is something I've heard, Lou and others say that, in modern college football, you can't get guys to go to Colorado or go to Nebraska, and I think that's complete horseshit.
Well, you're not going to get the amount of players to go to Colorado or Nebraska in modern college football as you are to Alabama, Georgia, or Ohio State. I agree with that, but with Deion's cachet, here's the problem with Deion. It's not that he can't recruit; he doesn't want to recruit. He has zero interest in recruiting. He's not even trying to recruit.
Dude, he's got less than zero interest. Like, he's not even recruiting transfer portal. He told people, and this is literally him in front of a camera, said if you wanted to transfer to Colorado, offensive players hit up Shador on Twitter and defensive players contact Shiloh on Twitter.
Yeah. Well,
they're recruiting.
Well, I mean, his only point was we realize there's going to be people who want to be part of the spectacle, and there are people who just want, they want money. That some people, the both intersect, right? They want to be part of the spectacle, and they want money too, and that's where he's making his bank, really.
Well,
that's his approach. I mean,
he recruits the portal well. He recruits the portal well because of who he is, and he's telling these players, "Hey, look, you might come here. You might we might only win 6 games. I don't know what he's telling them as far as what they'll win, but he's saying I've got a line in the NFL for you. That's all these the players that go to Colorado through the transfer portal. Their only interest is the NFL. That's it. Period.
Don't you want people who are really thinking they're going to get in the NFL?
I didn't say I didn't. Everybody on every team really thinks they're going to get in the NFL.
I don't think that's true.
To Pete's point,
not at Clemson.
Yeah, well, probably not everybody. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. But I mean, to the point you made earlier, that in the grand scheme of things, everything that matters. Well, it's a simple fact that over 99% of college football players will never play another snap of football after college.
Yep.
So a lot of you just aren't going to the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, we know that.
I wrote a haiku.
I'm guessing we're about to hear it. What is it?
Well, that's a lie. I didn't write it, but it's in my head.
That's even better.
Can I say it?
Of course.
All right. This is a haiku by Uncle Lou. At Colorado, you can't recruit. Dion was wrong, but Dubu was root.
Damn. Yeah, I will say this. I believe that Colorado, if Colorado played Clemson today, they'd beat the shit out of us.
I mean, Slaw, you know what? The proverbial cheese has slid way off that cracker of yours. Way off.
I think that I don't think our defense knows how to defend.
That cheese didn't just slide off.
Somebody take the bottle away from Grandpa.
That cheese didn't just slide off on the floor. It slid off and flew down the street.
Grandpa got too much cough syrup.
How do you have confidence in our defense?
I don't. I don't know how could I be more clear about my stance on Clemson's defense? I want the defensive coordinator gone tomorrow, Slaw. So, I mean,
me too, but my point is that you put Sanders back there at quarterback and throw your Heisman winner out there at receiver, and I don't think they might score 60 on us. We wouldn't score 60, clearly.
I disagree on Colorado.
Yeah, dude, we couldn't do it.
It might be 62-40 or 45 or something like that. Yeah.
That Louisville defense is ass, and we couldn't do anything against it. So I'm not going to go ahead and say that. Oh yeah.
Now look, Louisville doesn't have the world's best defense on the planet, but they're not terrible.
I mean, they stopped us from scoring on a series. That's something.
On one series.
It's something.
It's one series.
Guess what? There are teams this year that hadn't stopped us from scoring it on any series.
It was like shit to a tin horn when I watched that game. You guys scored at will.
Tom, he's never said that. Lou's not on here to defend himself anymore. Maybe he will in the comment section. But he says, like Lou says, when these teams score 50 points on trash teams, it means nothing to me. He says quite the opposite, sir. I don't know.
No, he didn't say that.
When you play trash teams, you're supposed to score 50 points, and you do.
That's right.
That does not mean nothing.
That's literally all you can do against a bad team is drop a 50 burger and hold them under 20.
Tom, what's the number? How many points do you have to score against the trash teams for it to mean something to you? Is it 60? Is it 70? Is it 100?
Georgia Tech scoring record.
Oh, God.
What is it, like 280 something or whatever it is?
I don't know. But back in 1904 or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Well, I would love to have been able to sit on the wall and watch that game and wonder, why would you keep doing that? Why would you keep scoring?
Well, and let me throw this out there too, because I meant to while that Colorado guy was on here. I'm not taking anything away from Travis Hunter whatsoever, and I completely agree that he's at the very least, he rightfully should be.
Yes.
But I've heard a lot over the past few weeks of how he's doing. Handful of guys on every team that would play two-way football.
Yeah, Clemson had that years and years ago. I mean, back in the 50s and the 60s. In the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, it was less frequent then. I'm saying it was pretty common back in the 50s and 60s, 40s even. Yeah.
I don't know what just happened. My StreamYard crashed, so I missed that entire conversation.
We were just talking about Travis Hunter.
We were talking about how I've heard a lot of what Travis Hunter has been doing nobody's ever seen before. I said yes to people that are under 30.
Oh yeah, it's happened before, but not in.
It used to be common.
Yeah, it used to be. That's what I think. That's what makes it more impressive, because it just doesn't happen in modern college football. Yeah. What he's doing.
I think that's because everything has become so specialized.
Yeah, well.
But I mean, in my opinion, one of the biggest snubs for Heisman ever, Devin Hester was playing three-way football in college.
Yeah.
I think it's fast. Well, it just has nothing to do with any of that. But it's amazing to me that Travis Hunter has such a future, and he's risking it by doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like injury-wise.
Well, hold on now. So there's two sides to the coin there. Right. So what he's doing is the reason he's probably going to be taken in the top 5 overall in the draft. So he's going to get paid for doing what he's doing eventually.
Yeah.
More than he would if he was just a defensive back or just a wide receiver. So he's
which, by the way, when he gets to the NFL, they're going to make him only play one side of the ball.
Oh yeah, they're not. Oh yeah, they're not doing. The NFL's not doing what. Now they might. Let's say he gets drafted as a defensive back. Hypothetical. I don't know what he's going to be drafted as. He gets drafted as a defensive back. Wherever he goes, they'll make some packages where he's going to play wide receiver for a few snaps a game. But as far as playing every down on defense and offense, that is not happening in the NFL. If it does, he won't last more than 2 seasons.
Well, my point being is every down he plays is a risk of him having.
Yeah, so that's a good point. But he's betting on himself.
I know.
He's betting on himself.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could make that argument for everybody in football. Every down they play could potentially be their last.
Right.
Slim, he's playing 2 times everybody else's downs.
Yeah, it's a risk.
I'm not saying it's bad.
There's no 2 ways about it. You're right about that. It's a huge risk for him. He could end up. I mean, I would not want to ever see this, because I think he's an amazing player and I hope he's successful. But playing every down on the field, or virtually every down, God forbid something happens and ends his career before it ever really gets started. But I think, well, he's only got 4 more games, or unless they make the playoffs for some reason, or the Big 12 championship. It's worked out so far so good.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna pay off for him. I think he's gonna be a very rich man this time next year.
Look, I'm pulling for him. I'm probably one of the bigger fans. I'm not his biggest fan. I'm sure there's others, but the point I was trying to make is for him to make that conscious decision and do it is interesting to me. I feel like it's like Donald Trump doubling down on his bad shit. He's just like, I don't care. I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear.
Honestly, I want to see more of it come back to college football. Like I think. The push you're seeing and everybody's so worried about injuries. Quit being a pussy. Let's go back to guys playing 2- and 3-way football. I mean, it's kind of to Pete's point. Like, you want to see good players play. You know, I wanted to see Devin Hester on the field because it was a potential touchdown every time he touched the ball, whether it was offensively, defensively, or special teams.
And to Slaw's point,
great players play.
Just to Slaw's point, Devin Hester was, you know, a fantastic college football player. Went on to be a great NFL player too, and he played both sides of the ball. So I
NFL Hall of Famer
I'm
now.
not saying he shouldn't. I'm not arguing that he shouldn't. I'm saying it's amazing that people have in this day and age don't think about their future like all these other guys. I don't want to play in this bowl game. I might get hurt.
Well, that's a different discussion.
Those people are crazy. But he's doing it on both sides.
Those people are quitters. Get it right.
All right, so let me ask you guys this. I got a question for both of you and all the people in the chat. I want the chat to answer this as well. Mm-hmm. Colorado goes 9-3. Does not play in the Big 12 championship game. Does not make the playoffs. 3-loss Big 12 to Colorado. Does Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, and Horn play in whatever bowl game they go to?
Probably not.
You think?
I would not. I wouldn't.
I disagree. I think they would. They haven't made it. When's the last time Colorado made a bowl game?
I'll be honest with you, I don't keep up with Colorado.
And that's the and that I know it's been a long time, but that is one of the things I will definitely praise Deion about. I think that under Deion, I'm not saying all of them because the players are going to do what they're going to do. I think most of his players, especially those guys, would play in any bowl game they made, no matter what it is.
I almost think Deion would tell them not to. Because of that trend in college football. I don't know, man.
No, Deion would have you run through a brick wall because
Slim. Deion wants that bowl win, buddy. I don't care what bowl it is.
Yep.
I'm not disagreeing with your logic. I think he may go.
And we're probably going to find,
as much as he wants that bowl win. Like all of us agree, he's not going to be back at Colorado or probably any college job next year. So what does he even care?
Going back to the ego thing. He wants to win that bowl game. And possibly. Now I don't know about Hunter. I mean, that's not his son. Shedeur Sanders is doing whatever Deion tells him to do. Period.
Yeah, he is.
So yeah. Maybe Hunter would sit out. I don't think he would though. I really don't.
Yeah, well, even there, Deion has his limits because, like, you remember when I guess his daughter transferred out of Colorado and he started running his mouth, and then I guess it's his ex-wife basically posted something on Twitter telling him to shut up or I'll start running mine. He shut up pretty quick.
Well, women have that effect. Right, Paul?
Yes, they do.
Well, out of the three of us, Paul's the only one here that knows what it's like to have an ex-wife.
Well,
look, we're all only one day away from being an ex-husband. It's just, maybe I only speak for myself. I don't know.
No.
But I think we do have. We have somebody in the back that actually he said their last bowl appearance was 2020, and the last time Colorado won a bowl game was 2004.
There you go. 2004, 20 years ago.
Shout out to Tyler in the back room for that little note.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler.
You know what I think though is the one thing about Deion that we should all be able to see at this point is he tries to extract toughness, tenaciousness, stick-to-itiveness, whatever you want to call it, out of his players, no matter what, just play. And that's why when you said that, Pete, you're probably right. They probably would play because that's his culture. That is his culture. And that's not a bad thing to have as a coach. You know?
Yeah, I'll criticize him where it's due, but I think that it's not just the fact that it's Deion. I mean, that has a lot to do with it. But just the fact that Colorado hasn't been, it's not like, when Alabama, goes to the fucking Tostitos Bowl or whatever the fuck it is, they get, the players sit out. Yeah. But because Alabama's always playing in something meaningful or some sort of major bowl game. In recent, the players that play for Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State, these type of teams, they don't. You got to remember they're 18, 19, 20 years old. They don't remember anything other than that team being great. But none of the players on Colorado remember Colorado being great ever.
Right.
I do, but I'm old. I remember when they were good. They were really good.
Yeah, you mean when they got 5 downs?
Well, no, yeah, maybe. No, that they got.
Hey, that was way back when Georgia Tech was good too.
Oh, god damn! Oh, see now that he's throwing shade at Georgia Tech and Colorado in the same sentence. That's some 4D chess shit there.
I remember when Miami used to be good.
Oh, you mean like right now?
How dare you?
How dare you?
Well, no, they're coming in. They're coming into their own now, but.
How dare you, Paul?
To me, that's the difference between a Miami and a Colorado. Like, okay, say if both of their starting quarterbacks go down tomorrow, Colorado's not winning another game. Miami will probably finish out the regular season probably undefeated. They've got enough talent on that offense in the running back room and in the wide receiver room that they'll make do.
Shout out to PigskinPeete for picking Miami to go 12-0 in the regular season before the season started. Thank you. Now you picked them.
Hey, and I sure didn't.
You didn't. You picked them to lose to Louisville, I think.
I did. I picked them to lose to Louisville. Now, and I preface this. This was preseason, but I always say that Florida State is a pick 'em. But I also said they would lose to. I said that the chances are high that they're feeling themselves a little too much because they're sitting there at 1 loss at the end of the year, and they go into Syracuse and bungle that.
Well, we can forgive you with the Florida State pick. First of all, I picked Florida State to beat Clemson in the preseason as their only loss. But even Mrs. Cleo and her magic ball couldn't see how bad Florida State was going to be. So I think we can all forgive each other. Most of you in the chat, though you won't admit it, were probably on here 4 months ago telling me that Florida State was going to win the ACC. So
I can't believe
we were all wrong about that.
I still can't believe how bad they are. I mean, really, it's almost.
I mean, that's more epic of a collapse than 2020 LSU.
When's the last time we saw a team? We've talked about this the other day. When's the last time we saw a team collapse to the epic scale that Florida State did? Who was it and when was it?
The closest thing would have to be 2020 LSU, and it wasn't even nowhere near.
No, that's not comparable to me.
No, that's
so before that, then.
Yeah.
I can't think of. I really can't think of one.
What was Auburn's record?
Auburn. That might be. Yeah, that might be the one.
Somebody would have to look that up. What was Auburn's record in 2011, the year that Cam Newton left?
Yeah, after Newton left, they were bad. I don't know if they were Florida State bad though.
Didn't it get Gene Chizik fired right after that though?
Yeah, he did get fired right after that. That was 1 year he had.
I gotta look this up now. All right, 2012. Yeah, this is it. They were 0-8 in the SEC. 3-9 overall. So yeah, that's got to be the one. I got kicked out of the StreamYard again. So they can't even hear what I'm saying here. Give me a hashtag professional in the chat. Thank you. All right. Did y'all?
Chris Winky's Florida State team. If I'm
Sorry,
not mistaken.
I got kicked out again. Did y'all hear what I said about Auburn?
No.
All right. Auburn 2012. Sorry, I got kicked out again. Auburn 2012. 0-8 in the SEC, 3-9 overall. So that's got to be it.
Wow. Yeah, that's got to be the next closest thing.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
I mean, we're talking about Florida State being 1-9. Yes, on the season they are, but this year, since January, they're actually 1-10.
Because
yeah,
they lost to Georgia.
Yep.
Poor fellas.
Well, I mean, as I always like to say, if I ever feel bad about Clemson's losing to Louisville, I just look back at Florida State, and then it makes me feel better.
Well, like here's my thing, and I said this earlier, and I don't remember if you were awake for this, so forgive me. But I mean, you got what, 4 games left? One of them Citadel. You're guaranteed almost a better record than what you had last year.
Well, I'm glad you're hopeful.
That's right. Yoda's right. Sorry, we got the years wrong. The Auburn National Championship with Cam Newton was 2010. So 2012
was 2010.
Oh, so I fucked up then. 2012 was when they bottomed out, though. 2010 was not near that bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess we got to go back further than that. Then, if we're talking about like a 1 year, one off season downturn, I don't even know how far back you have to go. It's got to be a long way, though.
I mean, seriously.
You might have to go back to Colorado and Georgia Tech. What was their records in '91?
Not that they weren't 1-9 through 10. At least I don't think they were through 10 games.
Probably not, because I can't think of anybody. Because let's see, you go back pre-2010. It took Florida a couple years before Urban Meyer was out of there. Miami was a slow decline. What was maybe USC 06, just because I can't think of their record off the top of my head, so I don't know.
How do you, I mean,
or Texas in 06.
It's kind of rhetorical, but it's not. I mean, it really is baffling. How do you go undefeated 1 year and then almost not a win the next year? I mean, how is that?
Well, it's unforgivable. But here's the funny thing. I would not be surprised. Well, I would be a little bit surprised, but it's completely possible that Florida State could be a 9 or 10 win team next season and compete for the ACC. There's just no consistency there. But we saw them do it last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's really comes down to if the portal class you hit meshes.
Right.
Yeah. This is going to be a bettor's dream if you want to bet on for next year for the ACC.
Oh, I can't wait to see what the over/under win total for Florida State is going to be next year. I'll probably take the over, whatever it is, just by odds alone, because it's because of the reaction of what happened this year. It's going to be very low.
It's really bad.
So it's probably going to be somewhere around 7, and I'll take the over for next year.
Yeah. And look, I'm not trying to diss on poor Florida State. I mean, I like them. I always have. But, I mean, come on.
You like Florida State and you always have?
No, I have. I'm because of Bobby Bowden. I liked him because of him. He made me into a Florida State fan. They're not better than Clemson. I mean, I'm a Clemson guy all the way, but I don't have any hate.
I get what Paul's saying.
I don't.
Listen, I'm a Miami fan. And I definitely had a certain level of respect for Bobby Bowden.
That's not what he said, though.
Well, liking somebody is the same kind of thing, right? Like, I didn't wish hate on them. Like, I can't.
Well, listen, I have a level of respect for Florida State that I don't have for Florida.
I like Steve Spurrier, but fuck South Carolina. So I don't understand that at all.
No, look, I'm not saying that you don't have some animosity toward them, especially when they beat you for fucking 2 decades almost. I mean, that really did bug the hell out of me. But that's the fact is, they were, in my opinion, they were a quality program with a quality coach, right? And I always had a lot of, I just looked up to them. I always wanted to beat them. I wanted to win.
Oh, see, now you're making it worse.
South Carolina or NC State. I've never felt that way, or Ohio State even. Never.
Yeah, listen, he didn't believe any of this before he met Robin.
Did Robin go to Florida State?
Yes.
Yeah. See, look.
She is a Florida State grad, sir.
Man.
Yep, she is. And she grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, too.
Sherlock Holmes eats your heart out with my fine detective work there.
Yeah, you're very astute. But yeah, no, but my point being, I don't have any hate for them like I do for Ohio State.
There we go
again.
again.
NC State or South Carolina, or I mean, that's
I get his point, like, because I kind of feel that way about Florida State towards Florida. There's a level of hate I have for the Gators that I don't have for the Seminoles.
I don't like Florida at all, and the Georgia fucking around with them in that game was pissing me off.
Yeah, because you like Georgia too. We're going down. See, this is the problem with you, Paul. First of all, you don't hate Florida State, which I don't know how any self-respecting Clemson fan on the planet could not hate Florida State. Now you love Georgia. How about do this? Tell me who you don't like.
I told you.
Who?
I told you my top three: South Carolina, NC State, and Ohio State. I can't stand them. Then right behind it comes Florida. I mean, Alabama, Georgia, but those are second tier. They're not my top tier.
How many wives have you had?
Huh?
Did your wife go to Georgia?
No.
I'm trying to do like Slim and figure out this shit.
She went to a school in Oneonta, New York, liberal arts school, didn't have a football program.
Oh.
So that's.
Did she go to Rhode Island School of Design?
No, but could have been just about that bad. She was a theater major.
No, we need. Listen, I'm not. Everybody knows I'm not for conference expansion, but we need Rhode Island School of Design in the ACC expeditiously. and there's only one reason why.
Rhode Island School of Design.
Yes, I think they're technically D3, if I'm not mistaken. But they have, hands down, the greatest mascot in college football history.
Which is what?
Scrody the Scrotum.
What?
Their mascot is a ball sack.
Damn.
And his name is Scrody the Scrotum.
I think that should be South Carolina's mascot going forward, because they are the scrotum of the U.S.
No, we need them to. That's why we need them in the ACC, so we can get the Cox versus the Scrotum.
Oh, God, help us out. Damn, Slim.
Oh, man.
Only you would know shit like that. That's right. Oh, God,
I'm a big fan of the Cox versus the Beavers. And by the way, the bowl. How come the bowl committee hasn't made that happen yet?
I don't know, man, but I know I had a great time. Innuendos abounded on your live stream when USD was playing Oregon State.
Oh yeah.
So Pete, I was in a biology class from a professor who was from Notre Dame, and it was his alma mater at Clemson. And he's in there, and he's, because of biology, you have to it's kind of a core thing. So you sit in this auditorium with all these people and this big ass screen behind him. And he goes, "Well, I'm looking forward to the year that we play Southern Cal, USC, and Navy." And I was like, "What?" And he says, "Yeah, we're going to break the Trojans and make way for the Seamen." That was in a biology class at Clemson. I'm like, damn. Come on, man. In an auditorium with 600 people?
Oh, listen. I mean, how epic would it be to have game day at South Carolina versus Rhode Island?
Oh, the signs would be
Herb Street calling that game. I mean, Pat McAfee would have a
Oh, Pat McAfee would have a field day with the Beavers and the Cocks. The signs alone would be worth watching.
Yes,
it would.
Oh my God!
I used to have a shirt because my older brother went to Clemson, and he, every game day, week, whoever they were playing, they would get shirts, and so he would wear them one time and then give them to me, and it was a tiger putting a giant condom over the Gamecocks. Says Clemson cover the Cocks or something like that, and I was like, I don't know. A sophomore in high school, a freshman in high school or something. I wore it to school. Of course, I got in trouble. They made me go home. Yeah, they made me go home because they told me I had to change my shirt. Of course, I didn't have another shirt. They said, well, if you can't get somebody to bring you another shirt, you got to leave, which I was obliged and happy to do. So I got in my car and left. But
yeah, don't threaten Pete with a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
I wore his T-shirt one day at the school, and it said, "A penny for your thoughts and $1 for your body." That's what it said on it.
Oh, damn.
It was, yeah. And everybody read it, and they said, and it was, as you might imagine, it was.
I mean, listen, Pete, that's way better than what Hufferbilly Paul got kicked out of school for. I mean, he got in there talking about nuking the whole world, and they kicked him out.
I did. They called me the Mad Bomber. I was like, well, I mean, we should get rid of some population anyway. Help the earth.
Hey, Paul, have you checked on your ex-wife, by the way? I mean, I know she was a big Kamala supporter and everything. Is she okay?
I haven't checked on her, but my son's over there with her, so he would tell me unless she killed him and her together.
Damn.
Maybe, I hope not. Now, it's not a murder-suicide or nothing.
Now, I'm not gonna dive down the rabbit hole, but since you brought it up, I did try and make a little piece with the Florida State fan base on Twitter because I told them they're only going to take the second worst beating of the week.
Damn.
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you? That's pretty good. No, but yeah, I don't know how she's doing, but man, whew, I can only listen. The last time he won, this place was on fire for fucking ever. I couldn't even get up and get a cup of coffee in the morning without hearing all the.
What do you mean when this place was on fire? Horrible. So the last time that he won was 2016.
Yeah, it was horrible.
All right, so you were married then.
Yeah.
And
I mean, leading up to it all, I didn't look. You should. Her parents were here staying with us for 2 months, and they were here the night that the election went down. And her mom was in there in the room where Noah's plays his games now in the front room, and I'm in the den just watching TV, watching the election. And now I'm secretly, I hadn't been touting it or anything. I was just secretly sitting there. I'm thinking, well,
secretly.
I know he's not. Yeah, I know he's not going to win.
Hold on, you kept it a secret that you wanted Trump to win from your wife?
I didn't vote for him. I voted for Johnson, but because I just didn't like the fucking righteousness of these Clinton people. The damn, you know what I mean. So I was just kind of wanting to stick a finger in there. So I'm sitting here in the den, and when it started to turn around, her mom came stomping in. I mean, not talking about stomping too. Came stomping in from the other room and came. What in the hell is wrong with this country? These people. I mean, she went off on the. I mean, dude, and I'm just sitting there like, whatever.
Yeah.
And
I've seen a couple of reactions like that today too. So.
It's like, what's wrong with you? And then the next morning, and from then on, and they left eventually because they had to get back up to. Well, they were going down to Cocoa Beach, Florida, to her sister's house. And I'm here with her, and every morning it was just this vent, constant vent for hours. I mean, I was like, Jesus Christ, somebody kill me now. And eventually I basically told her, I said, you need to seek help. That's what I said.
So she was mad at you because Trump won?
She was mad at the world. Her whole damn, I mean, it was like you couldn't, I'm just one person in it. It was horrible.
I believe you.
But it's all your fault, Paul.
I believed you that was horrible, yeah.
It was not fun. And I remember, what was it the day that I said to her, I said, you either need to seek help or you need to shut the fuck up. And I think that was the end of I think that started the beginning of the end.
Damn.
Because I was tired of hearing it, man. I was done with it.
Yeah.
So you mean, are you saying that Trump winning the election is what led to your divorce?
Yes.
I see. I wasn't going to say it because but I already knew that was the case. But I'm not going to put his business out there. But he just said it.
Right.
So,
It did happen.
So there you go.
It was horrible. And look, I didn't even vote for the son of a bitch.
Hey, can you make me a drink too, Slaw?
Yeah.
Can you make me a drink too while you're making one for yourself?
No, I'm just putting up chips.
Oh.
I had chips. I did some clam chowder and some.
Yeah, I'll take a bourbon neat, thanks.
Yeah. Well, if I had bourbon, I don't have bourbon here. I don't drink liquor.
Go. That's a good thing. You don't drink liquor. Go.
Exactly.
Go Irish night.
I've had enough on beer. You don't want me on liquor.
Go Irish 1971 says bring back fax machines in recruiting.
I could get down with that. That's not the worst idea I've heard.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what Dion uses to recruit. That's why he's so bad at it.
Well, listen, wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, Dion uses carrier pigeon.
I mean, a fax machine. If you look, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to see it, does it make a noise?
No, not if you're
Yeah,
not there.
that same with fax machines. Nobody's got a fax machine anymore.
That's not true.
All right. Office Max does, but you have to drive there to use one. Do you have one?
No, I've never owned a fax machine.
Of course you don't.
But...
Actually, you know what? Paul probably has one.
No, in 2017, the lawyers, she had hers, I had mine to do the divorce stuff. And she goes, well, just I'm going to email you this printout.
Oh, no.
Sign it and then fax it back to me. That was 2017. And I said, listen, lady, I don't even know where a fax machine is.
Yeah,
Much less faxing you something. I said, I got to be able to take a picture or something with my iPad and send it to you as an attachment. And she goes, let me see if we can do that. I'm like, 2017.
Well, can you imagine Slaw sitting there for 4 hours trying to fax divorce papers over?
What a pain in the ass.
After about 2 hours and 30 minutes, this is what it would sound like.
Damn.
I knew that stinger was coming.
That wasn't a stinger. That was me.
Oh, my bad.
It's probably as accurate as it can be, though. No, that was a bad day, though. Just asking me to fax divorce papers. I was like, it's not bad enough I'm doing a divorce. I got to fax it. So I was going to have to go up to UPS and get them to fax something. And it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, everybody knows the best.
Billy Paul using a fax machine is like Celine Driver using the postal service.
I'm not gonna lie. If you put a fax machine in front of me, I would have to read the directions on how to use that motherfucker.
Well, shit. When we voted, you're not in Georgia, so you may have a different system. But when we voted, you put all your shit on the screen, and then it prints out your ballot. And then you're supposed to scan it. And I asked the lady, I said, do I put it face down or face up? And she goes, well, no, you just do it face up. And I'm like, in my day.
No.
Hey, now this is just me taking a guess because of the conversation, but do you think that may be why there's still, why there's such a problem with Heisman voting because they're sending in their votes via fax?
Probably.
Yeah, likely. Yeah. Why would they do that? Again, whatever. It's dumb. Why aren't they look? Embrace technology. Move forward.
Because there's people with old souls like me that still walk around looking for payphones.
Oh God!
I saw one the other day,
You
and
really don't.
I saw a payphone the other day. I stopped and took a picture of it with my phone.
If I see a payphone,
It wasn't just a payphone. Somebody was actually using it.
Holy crap!
Yeah, so it was a functional payphone.
If I find a payphone, I'm gonna call you, Slim. I will say you won't believe this. I'm calling you from my damn payphone.
See, you call me from a payphone, I won't answer it because I won't recognize the number.
Slim answers.
Well, see, I do because during my day I had to find things to occupy myself. So I've even gotten to the point where I kind of like the spam calls because if I can mess with the machine for a minute and actually get somebody on the phone, I can screw with them for a half hour.
I'm totally with you, Slim. I had somebody about a month ago. They called and I picked up. I was like, okay, I know this is going to be a spam call. And it was a delay. They pick up and they start talking. And I realized it wasn't a computer. It was actually a person. And
it's always somebody from India named James or Jim or Bob or something.
This was an American, but she was asking me, have you got da-da-da, I think it was insurance or something like that. And I said, look, I appreciate you calling me because I'm probably in the market to buy some insurance. I said, but what are you wearing? So then I started going down there. I said, how tall are you? Yeah. But eventually she hung up because I just basically trolled her for a good, 10 minutes. I was asking all sorts of personal questions. I said, have you ever had a boyfriend?
So what was she wearing?
She said, I'm just wearing regular clothes. And I said, well, regular to you is not necessarily regular to me. Can you describe them? And then she started to describe them. And I basically had to put on mute because I was laughing my ass off. I honestly was.
She was probably wearing a pantsuit.
She had a blouse with these flowers, and it was. I asked her. I said, "Well, is it low cut or is it up near your neck?"
Oh, you went super creepy then.
Oh yeah, I went way down this road for a while, and then she finally hung up. I think she realized I was being a real dick, which is that was the intent.
Man, I can't imagine. I can't for the life of me.
Constructive with your life. Quit being a telemarketer. Go be a stripper. Or something.
Can't for the life of me figure out why Paul is divorced.
Yeah, who divorced this guy?
I love to have fun, and these people don't get the sense of humor of it all.
All right, this is gonna be the last call of the night. What's up? You're on with Pete, Slim, and the one and only Hufferbilly Slaw.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. Just got back home from working at a state.
How does it feel to be one of, I think, three? Is there three? How many teams are left that are undefeated right now? 3, I think.
5, I think.
There are 5.
I think it's 5.
How does it feel to be to last 5 teams that are undefeated?
It's a good feeling, I guess, but I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah.
So that's the way I see it.
Do you get nervous? Do you ever get nervous when your team starts to play? Do you ever have butterflies in your stomach waiting for the game to start?
Well, I mean, if you're true to your team, I think everybody feels that way. I mean, if you go in with arrogance, then more than likely you might get your ass whooped. So,
yeah.
So basically, you just described an Ohio State fan.
Yeah, fuck them.
I don't know who this guy's a fan of, but I like him.
He's a Hoosier.
God,
hey, you know what? Indiana's that's one of the great stories of this year. I can't even be mad at that. Go Go Who's on that.
Yeah, look,
I've been pulling for them.
we're
Pulling for them every week.
you know, isn't everybody an Indiana fan? I mean, unless you're whoever the team they're playing against this week. I swear, it feels like everybody's an Indiana fan.
Yeah, they cover each week too, so financially,
Yeah.
everybody's a fan of.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I have noticed they
No,
cover
but
every week.
yeah. No, but it is. It's a good story, but you know, they say it's a Cinderella story, but they're true competitors though so far. You know.
No, they're
real. They're real deal.
Yeah, they're the real. They're the real deal.
Play, you know they're real.
They're the real deal. Unfortunately, though, Hoosier, Hammer and Hoosier, that coach isn't going to be there for long.
We'll see. IU's got more money than you think, but I mean.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, fuck. Who knows? You can't predict what the man's thinking. Yeah.
Well, and also what the school is willing to pay to keep him. I mean, yeah. Listen, I look at it kind of like I would Duke, in that yeah, they've got money because they're a historically successful basketball program, but how much money are they really willing to shell out to be a good football program and keep a guy there that could sustain it?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
or Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky's fine with. Literally, Stoops has a clause in his contract that he gets a year extension every time he wins. 6 or 7 games?
Yeah, but he's getting paid like $12 million a year. I mean, he's one of the top 5 highest paid coaches in the country. Stoops is.
Yeah, which baffles me.
So
I guess him and Bob have got some hellified agents.
I mean, I guess Indiana could do something similar to what Kentucky's doing and lock this guy in with a huge contract. I don't know that one great season it justifies that, but it does seem to be the norm in college football these days. If you have one great season, then they're gonna throw all kinds of money at you. Well, one of two things is going to happen, because here's the bottom line. There's going to be a coaching vacancies all around college football at the end of the year, because there is every year, and there's going to be interest in that guy. So their back will be against the wall. Like if they want to keep him, which I'm sure that they do, they're going to have to give him some kind of ridiculous contract, or he's out the door. That's probably the scenario that's going to happen. Now, I don't know anything about the financial situation in Indiana. I'm sure you know better than me. Would they? I guess they could afford to pay him double-digit $1 million a year. I mean, Kentucky's doing it.
Well, the last coach had a $25 million buyout, and they got rid of him.
Yeah.
But the previous AD gave him that contract, which was a big fucking mistake, which, that's why he's not the AD no more. But, yeah, they've got the money. All these schools, man, that they consider, whether which sport breaks in the most money, they've got the money, but just, whose pockets is it lining, in the administration? I mean, but
yeah.
They were way, way, way overdue to finally start investing in the football program, but it had to take a whole new administration to clean house and figure it out.
What are the facilities and things like that like? Because I know that the people like me and you could care less what the weight room looks like, and if there's a putt-putt course inside the building like at Clemson and a slide and all that bullshit. But are they way behind as far as facilities compared to some of these other Big Ten schools, or are they on par with that? I have no idea.
They were way, way behind for a long time, but they finally invested in it about 5 years ago. So, and more, and they're getting more donors to help, alums to help donate to it, but they're up to speed with that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I give a shit less about the fucking weight room. If you got a good coach to fire you up and he knows how to win, it can put you in a good situation. That's who I'd want to go play for. But different ball game now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But because I was up working in Michigan this week. I was working in Detroit and Ann Arbor, and that's who we play this week. So, yeah.
Beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be there for that one. But hell, I got the tickets back in fucking June when they was still $25 a piece, because that's how much all it cost to go watch an IU football game for years. So, yeah.
So you were in Michigan this past week, so that means you must have early voted?
I did. I voted last Wednesday, and that's the first time I've ever early voted. But yeah, I got mine in, whether they flipped it or not. Fuck them, I still attended it. So.
Yeah. See, I'm like the exact opposite. I've always early voted.
Yeah.
I've never early voted. I don't know why. I feel like, well, first of all, there's zero chance I'm ever mailing in a ballot.
Fuck no.
I don't trust the USPS enough for them to count my vote. Or I don't trust whoever's opening the envelope to count my vote. I'm probably completely wrong here.
Point. I don't trust those fucks with my mortgage payment. Why am I going to trust them with a vote?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sounds like Celine Driver to me.
Yeah, well, guess what? The Postal Service has lost one of my mortgage payments before, so.
Oh, they lose my shit all the time. It's a weekly occurrence.
I get my neighbor's mail at least once every other week.
Oh, me too. That's the least of my problem. They lose my mail. My mom lives 20 minutes away from me in the same city, but on the other side of the town. If I mail a letter to her or a card for her birthday or whatever it takes 10 days to get there. I could drive it there in 20 minutes. The USPS used to be really good. It used to be one of the best federal services available. It's gone completely downhill over the past, 10 or 15 years. And I don't know why.
They're ready to go on strike because, they won't give us a new contract and we don't make enough money.
Maybe because you don't do your job.
Yeah, well, hey, that was my whole thing with fast food employees. It's like you guess what? You got your $15 an hour. You still can't give me a fucking Whopper with cheese on it. We were talking about it with the longshoremen going on strike a couple of weeks ago. That short-term memory, everybody's forgotten about that. But I ain't got a whole lot of sympathy for a motherfucker that, on average, is making $175,000 a year.
Yeah,
well, about needing more money.
I don't have a problem with them making $175,000 a year.
Yeah, that's what they make. Yeah,
but.
No, I was going to say the one thing about the Indiana coach, and I hate to break it to you, but he's probably coming to Clemson after we get rid of Dabo.
Oh, here we go with this shit again.
Lord.
That's Paul's first pick.
It's either him or Stoops.
Stoops? Man, gee, all right. I've had enough of this guy.
Well, I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you. I make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you.
You're like a clown.
Yeah. No, I do think he's going to go somewhere else eventually because, well, it depends really. Like I said, there are people that have been at Duke and stayed there for years and they liked it and they didn't try and leave. So it depends on the person, but if they're looking to make a step to the big time, and I mean, like go to Ohio State, go to LSU, go to Alabama, go to whatever, then he probably will get lured there. If that's
and to that point, we've seen guys kind of miss their opportunity. Dave Clawson, I think, missed his opportunity. Now he may create another one for himself, but what's his name?
That's a great point.
The guy, PJ Fleck.
Yeah, Minnesota guy.
Yeah,
that was another one. Kind of let that train pass him in the night.
Yeah, I don't know about PJ Fleck. I don't think PJ Fleck ever had any sort of real clout. I mean, he had some. I mean, he was okay, but yeah, but the Clawson thing, I definitely agree with. There was a time where he was one of the top coaching candidates in the country. He could have went somewhere and made triple what he's making at Wake Forest and didn't do it.
Well, I think PJ Fleck, I would be willing to guarantee, was thrown some offers when Minnesota had that 10 or 11 win season a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, West Virginia probably would have loved to have had him.
Yeah, well, they decided to extend Neil Brown, and look what that did.
Well, here's what Indiana needs to do. They need to go into Columbus and beat the Buckeyes, and then, or you might not want that to happen, actually, because if it does happen, then he might be coaching for Ohio State next year.
Yeah, Ryan Day's going to get fired.
Yeah. He should have been fired a long time ago. But, hey, Urban Meyer said he was a good coach, so that's why they promoted from within and made him coach at Ohio State. So do what Urban says. But,
I mean, it's worked out for him so far. The guy hasn't won less than 11 games in a season.
Yeah. No. When it comes to Cignetti, though, I mean, well, like I said, I can't do the thinking for the man, but I figured he'd be more satisfied if he stayed in one place and would build something and leave a legacy. I mean, look what Barry Alvarez did at Wisconsin. Our Wisconsin didn't used to be worth a fuck at football. I mean, they're not now, but they're going through a rebuild. But he built something there. Same with Iowa. Iowa ain't worth a fuck right now, but they actually built something there. And them individuals, stamped their name into that program and built something. But we'll just see how time goes on when it comes to, other coaching opportunities.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Because he'll definitely get offers. There's no doubt about it. The question is, what will
good coach does?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, to your point, before Bobby Bowden, Florida State was an all-girls clown college.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, we'll wait and see. But no, I would like to see him beat Michigan and Ohio State. But
you're definitely beating Michigan.
Yeah.
And when I say definitely, that means you're probably going to lose to them, because anytime I say definitely, somebody loses. So good luck with that. But my prediction is you'll lose one game. I think you'll lose on the road at Ohio State, but I think you'll win every other game. Playoff team in that. Yep.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you'd be on a high horse and, strutting in there thinking you're going to do something in Columbus. But, hey, go in there and compete.
Playoff team in that.
Well, to Pete's point, where that may even work out better for you, an 11-1 Indiana is not getting left out of the playoffs.
No.
I wouldn't.
Not at all.
No one-loss team. No one-loss team is getting left out of the playoffs in the Power Four.
In a conference like the Big.
Yeah, not any of the Power Four.
Yeah.
I could see, just because of last season, maybe not this year, but I could see a 2-loss Big 12 team being left out, or a 1-loss Big 12 team being left out over a 2-loss SEC team.
I don't think you have to choose between the two, probably, though.
We don't have enough.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, and I realize everybody's throwing around scenarios, but there's still a scenario where you have, potentially four 2-loss SEC teams.
Well, in that case, there would be an 11-1 Indiana would get ahead of one of those three. They're not leaving an 11-1 Indiana out. That's not happening.
No. I tend to agree with you, but the people that wave the conference banners,
especially if they're only lost.
All these SEC teams should get in. They're all better because they're in the SEC.
Yeah, but especially if their one loss is to an Ohio State.
Yeah.
No, there's no way.
They're going in. and the good news is they're a good enough team to actually make some hay in there. They may actually win it all. Who the hell knows? I don't think they can beat like an Oregon. I think Oregon's just too complete. But Indiana looks good, man. They look good. I watch them and they just.
Well, they are good.
There's nothing wrong with them.
They are good. They're for real.
Older players, and they're all experienced, and they're gelling great together, and that's from having a good coach and a good staff surrounding them. So that's just what it boils down to, fundamentals.
That's right.
So,
Google me.
Yeah.
Look, if I had a team to adopt, because I can't rely on my team because they shit the bed.
Yeah, you can like Indiana too. You like plenty of other teams.
Yeah, you just add them to the list, Law. You got 5 teams you like now.
No, look, I'm saying I don't hate Indiana. I never hated them, but
nobody does, except for maybe like Iowa, and I don't. Who's your biggest rivals at Indiana?
Purdue.
Yeah, boiler down this year. Well, yeah, since Brom left. Yeah. So.
Damn, they need a damn facelift bad at Purdue.
Yeah, I think that their coach is on his way out. I mean, he never really had any much experience. He was a coordinator at D1 school for 2 years, and Purdue thought he was qualified. So, yeah.
Was Brom the coach at Purdue a few years ago? This would have been, I don't know how long he was at Purdue, but when they ran Ohio State out of their own house.
Yeah, that was Brom. Yeah, that was Tyler. What's that kid's name? The kid with cancer. Y'all remember that?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. I know the chat knows who I'm talking about. Yeah, the Tyler kid. Yeah, that was that game. They beat them by 30-something points.
Yeah, they dropped a 60 burger on Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah, we start playing Notre Dame next year. So, yeah.
That means Notre Dame next year too. Win.
Yeah, but hell, I haven't seen IU play Notre Dame, and well, fuck, not in my lifetime in football. But
might see it this year.
How old are you, by the way? Just curious.
How old am I?
Yeah.
I remember when gas was 80 cents a gallon.
So you're as old as me.
He's in his mid-40s, from what I can tell.
I can
remember when it was under $1 a gallon. Yeah.
23 cents a gallon is what I remember.
It was 96 when I got my first car in 1995. It was 96 cents a gallon.
Yep, that's what I remember. Now, granted, I didn't have my first car, but
And what was your first car?
My first car was a 1985 Honda Prelude with 225,000 miles on it.
Hell yeah, a Mega Racer.
Paid $800 for it.
Mine was a 76 Pontiac Grand Prix Coupe.
Damn. Actually, that's nice.
And it wasn't mine, but I got to drive it. It was my mom's, but I drove it like all the time. So yeah.
I paid $2,000 for a '95 Ford Ranger. That was my first vehicle.
Hell, that thing's somebody's probably still driving that thing, Slim.
I don't know. I drove it because I wasn't I was young and dumb, and I didn't. It didn't occur to me that a manual transmission had any kind of fluid in it. And it was a 5-speed, and that transmission got so high it melted the gears together.
Oh, so nobody is driving it then?
Not to the best of my knowledge.
Well, hang on, Slim. You said you were young and dumb, but does that change the fact that you're old and dumb?
Nope.
I still have my first vehicle, believe it or not.
What?
Although I will say this much, Paul, I've gotten better at taking care of vehicles because my little red truck out there has got 430,000 miles on it.
Yeah, you got to keep it. As I say, you got to do. You treat your cars like you treat your women. You keep them good and lubed.
Oh Jesus! Hammer and Hoosier said he's still got He said he still has his first car. What is it?
I've got a 1974 Ford F100, 3-speed on the floor with power steering, and I punched it 40 over.
Oh, my God.
I inherited it from my grandfather back when I was like 12 years old, and and I just kept it in the family, but it's sitting in the garage. So
you drive it? You drive it often? Every now and then?
Yeah, I try not to drive it much in the wintertime due to all the salt and brine on the roads up here in Indiana in the wintertime. But but no. And I redid it all, and I painted it with the color of black cherry with a cream white top on top of the cab of the pickup.
Yeah, I bet that thing looks sweet.
Ooh, dadgum.
Yeah.
Now that's pretty. That's gotta be. Everybody's looking at that going, I wish I had.
Yeah, I bet that thing looks sweet.
And I kept it all original. I tried to, and so and a neat thing about the vehicle, it was assembled just an hour south of here too, so it didn't travel too far out of the assembly line. So it's just things like that. Just I try to keep on to it, hold on to it, and take care of it. But
if you have any kids, teach them to do the same and let them have it when you're.
Yeah, that's an heirloom there.
Yeah. I've got 2 girls, and the oldest one, I'm teaching her how to drive a stick shift. That's what I grew up on. I mean, I started driving a tractor when I was 5 years old. But try to do the same with her. She's not so worried about her fucking, her Hello Kitty outfit getting dirty. But other than
that, funny you said about driving a stick shift. The way I learned to drive with a clutch on my dirt bike, right, when I was like 12 or 10,
right,
10 to 14, and then I got in the car. I had to do the gears, and it was like a natural, man. It was so simple to me.
Oh, that's hell. Hell, my first off-road vehicle was a 3-wheeler, a Honda Big Red. Yeah, suicide mission vehicle right there. But,
good shit.
That's something I've always wanted to try. I've driven manual and pretty much everything except a motorcycle.
What?
You never do a manual motor. I mean, what do you mean you haven't ridden a motorcycle?
Well, let me rephrase. I'd like to. I haven't driven a motorcycle with a suicide shifter.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I definitely have. And ironically enough, it almost lived up to its name.
It's a pretty intense experience.
Yeah. Anyway, gentlemen, I do have to get off here. It is after. It's getting late here. So.
Yep.
Thank you, Hammer and Hoosier. Go Hoosiers this week. Although I don't think I was about to wish you luck. I don't think you'll need it because Michigan's terrible.
Yeah. Hey.
But hey,
go out there and compete and stay healthy. That's like what I can hope for.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Yeah.
Win the game, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, can you cover, please?
I hope.
All right.
I hope so. I haven't even betted on them this year, but every team outside of my, I think it was 14.
Oh yeah, you'll cover that.
Yeah, it was 14.
I didn't on the first couple, but I got on that Indiana train of covering fairly quick.
Well, unfortunately for you, I'm going to take them at minus 14, which means you probably won't cover, but hopefully you'll still win for your sake.
They're going to cover, Pete.
Hey, listen, it don't matter. As long as you win, the rest of it will work itself out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, but no, gentlemen, it was good to be a part of your all's conversation. So try to enjoy the rest of your week, and God bless you all.
Same goes to you too, sir.
Yeah. Make America great again. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Let's roll.
All right.
I like this guy.
All right, Hoosier. And same goes for you too, Paul. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, man. Y'all be good, okay?
All right. As Uncle Lou would say, Droovy, thank you, or whatever he says. something like that.
Something like that.
All right.
All right.
All right, Slim. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good one. All right. That's going to do it for me as well, guys. Tomorrow's Thursday, so no live shows on Thursday. I'll be back Friday morning at 11 a.m. for the midday show on my second channel. And I'll let you guys know on Friday exactly what my streaming schedule is for the weekend. I have no idea yet. Well, probably the 3:30 time slot because that's when Clemson's playing. But I'll let you guys know. Anyway, appreciate all of you for hanging out tonight, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.